Well, here we go again. Welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video. Kaz PhD here. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to talk about the Corridors of Time, a recent community puzzle in Destiny 2's Season of Dawn. This video will cover my thoughts on the quest design, the reward, and the community. Please check the description and timestamps below for more concise info. So, let's catch you up, just to make us all on the same playing field. Last Tuesday, January 14th, a new quest appeared from Osiris. Guardians were tasked with exploring the Corridors of Time, the same place we navigated to, spoiler, meet, inspire, and save Sane 14. At the same time, and every hour since, a series of codes appeared on the seasonal obelisks. Guardians quickly realized that if you ran through the corridors, entered the pathways with those same symbols in the same order, you unlocked a piece of lore from the Pigeon and the Phoenix lore book. 19 codes, 19 lore pieces. However, completing this did not advance the quest. Then the community realized that the symbols appearing below the Time Lost Vault, the place you got the lore, could be connected. Doing so gave a new sequence which unlocked an emblem. But the quest still was not advanced. Then, the community realized that the symbols that appeared under the vault when a Guardian ran the emblem sequence displayed a different set of symbols for every Guardian every hour. What followed was a tremendous undertaking by the community. Allegedly 40,000 Guardians were working together at the peak of this, capturing screenshots, running through the corridors, running code, making spreadsheets. Streamers captured it all, running marathons on Twitch and elsewhere, and the final map was a several thousand piece puzzle which, when navigated correctly, gave a 30 symbol sequence that could unlock the next step of the quest. After this, a few standard Destiny quest steps later, and the final reward was the Bastion, a primary slot fusion rifle, kind of a Cerberus shotgun fusion hybrid. Bungie then congratulated the community, and, despite Bastion being on the roadmap originally scheduled for next week, the quest became immediately available. Those are the facts. Now, let's talk about the response. The Destiny community is vast and full of passion, and that passion brings a slew of perspectives from one side to the other. Some are quite happy and fine with what happened, some are not. Over the past day or so, there have been a lot of comments all over the usual forums concerning this quest, most particularly the feeling that the reward did not live up to the effort. A mysterious puzzle which gives a known item, one which was already scheduled, many are saying that doesn't live up to the effort of the community. Frankly, I'm putting it nicely. The comments I've seen range from an understandable expression of disappointment to the sadly usual extremely negative comments toward Bungie, the community managers, even the streamers themselves. Even during the event, there was negativity, with people name-calling and trolling streamers and those trying to solve the code and in Discord and other forums. Now, of course, people are entitled to be disappointed and angry, and of course that feedback should be shared, to the point of either trying to alleviate or prevent further negativity. But we've been here before. The community gets hyped up, Bungie has a misstep or two, and the community riots. In preparing this video, not only have I been going over comment after comment on Reddit, Discord, and Twitter, but I went back to watch my Niobe Labs video. I thought it interesting that so many people were comparing this puzzle to the one for Outbreak in Destiny 1, rather than the last Destiny puzzle we had, Niobe Labs. I was not around for any of the puzzles in Destiny 1. By the time I got into the game, many of the puzzles were solved. In the case of Outbreak, I didn't even know about Destiny's Reddit or other communities, so I just googled the answer and got it. For Niobe Labs, I was not really involved either. My video, linked in the description below, talked about how I didn't like the lack of in-game notifications, resources, or means of helping. The puzzle relied entirely on outside-the-game resources such as Reddit and Twitch, and without those, not only could you not have helped, you may not have even known what was happening. Remember, the area was found in Sojourner's Camp in the EDZ, but the doors were closed. If you didn't know better, you would have thought, well, I guess that's it. We're going to talk a little bit more about quest design later, but let's talk about expectations now. The main focus of the negativity is that the crazy week-long community puzzle only rewarded a gun we knew was coming. Let's take their side for a minute and discuss this. The corridors of time were completely kept secret, not data mined, just showing up out of nowhere. This was awesome. It involved a greater mystery that spurred thousands in the community to work together to solve it. Also awesome. The direct reward was a fusion rifle we knew was coming, and data miners knew everything about. That's not so awesome. I can understand their disappointment. If you went to see a movie in the theater, and an unexpected phone app minigame appeared between the previews, and everyone in the theater began working together, making friends, only to find out that the puzzle was a message saying, "Enjoy the movie you came here to see," that would leave a lot of people confused, angry, disappointed, or even defeated. Though it shouldn't, and we'll discuss this later too. Many have pointed to the item being on the roadmap as a source of frustration. If Bastion was off the roadmap, people would have been surprised. However, as Bungie community managers have tweeted, the roadmap is important to set expectations for the season, to help people justify buying and playing. So they didn't want to, and maybe legally couldn't, leave certain information off the roadmap. I've seen some suggestions regarding just putting exotics on the map but without set dates, or just claim the number of exotics without specification. While there's merit here, I don't think either idea would have fixed the problem entirely. Exotics without dates would still allow people to figure out it was Bastion through elimination, and I've seen people upset at the gun itself, saying it isn't a worthy enough reward. I do think there's room for improvement with Bungie's quest design and communication, but as always I think there's a lot of room for improvement in the community's sense of entitlement and expectations. This is a game, remember, and this particular event was part of a $10 season. The puzzle brought a lot of people together. It made friends. It was probably really good for streamers, and in turn, probably good for Bungie. It added passion and excitement to the community during a quiet moment in the season, and it added to the deeper mystery and lore and love of the game. Bungie has since stated that the quest was unlocked a week early, thanks to the community. Personally, I see ambiguity in their phrasing on Twitter, as I wonder if the quest would have unlocked at all without the community's help. Remember, they eventually unlocked the Burgugia Forge when the Niobe Labs wasn't solved, though that was due to some bug and miscommunication from Bungie themselves. But in either case, the community came together, and we literally unlocked a weapon a week earlier than expected, thanks to our efforts. I'm mostly happy about how all this went down. The corridors being a mystery was great. The fact that the initial part of it was in the game, Obelisk's codes, was also great. The codes then being used to form a greater puzzle for the emblem was also nice. I'm a big fan of things being actually in the game. While I admire community resources and puzzles, I was happy that both the initial part and the emblem were in the game itself. And while the majority of the corridors puzzle solving took place outside of the game through spreadsheets and forums, it was great that the entire community could be involved by running codes. Remember, with Niobe Labs, the only way you could help is either by trying the labs yourself, making suggestions on Twitch, or trying to solve codes on forums. No notification in the game, no way to help in the game. However, with the corridors, every Guardian could run the emblem code every hour and check if their code was unique. Streamers were even asking for this by the end of the event, so an improvement here over Niobe Labs. Bungie also mentioned the puzzle on their TWAB, their This Week at Bungie blog post. I am a little disappointed that they didn't mention where the problem-solving communities could be found, and that the puzzle wasn't mentioned on an in-game title card, but still, some improvement. My community has pointed out that Bungie may not have been able to credit anyone or provide links on the TWAB, not wanting to endorse any one streamer or community, etc. But they still could have linked to the forums, or the Raid Secrets Reddit, or they could have put something in their own official Destiny Discord server, and they definitely could have mentioned something on their in-game title card. Here's the thing. If you're watching this, you probably know all about the various communities for Destiny. I've mentioned some of them, and you likely know of more. But consider this. A tweet from Destiny Item Manager recently said that an estimated fewer than 10% of players use their app or Ishtar Collective. Fewer than 10% of all Destiny players use the two most useful apps for item management in the game. Now, perhaps a lot more use the Destiny 2 app, and that app does point out the TWAB every week. But it makes me wonder, How many players know about the community? If it's not in-game, then players cannot be expected to know, especially a game like Destiny where nothing is explained. Yes, Osiris is there saying, go check the corridors. Yes, not being able to solve it would likely immediately lead players to Google, but there are better ways to involve us. At least this time there was a way for the average player to help. Assuming they knew what was going on, they could run codes. But if they're not so well informed, they would have entered the vault and got nothing. Or assumed it was time-gated. Or. So, Bungie, if you're not going to put links in the TWAB, can you at least name what's going on in the title card? This brings me to another similar point. Now that the quest is unlocked, players can start by talking to Saint 14. The problem here is that players don't now have to run the corridor. While this is a credit to the community for solving it, being able to start the quest a week early, it does take away from their efforts somewhat. I believe that Saint should have provided an image, with the code, saying it was the work of countless guardians who solved it. Then you have to run the 30 symbol code in the corridors of time and be on your way. Skipping that step invalidates the community's efforts, I think. Am I disappointed that the reward was the Bastion? No. One of the rewards was the Bastion, but we actually got more than that. Bringing the community together and the journey that went along with it, while not directly Bungie's doing, they didn't provide the specific community forum, was because of Bungie's work in creating this puzzle. A lot of people skip by this, but Bungie has successfully been able to bring so many people together several times. How many friendships, how much entertainment, how many little communities, how many Twitch subscriptions were made because of this? I'm not big into other gaming communities, but the world of Destiny and the ability to foster a community around it are really inspiring to me. Destiny is more than a game, and this puzzle is proof of that. Do I think that Bungie's communication could be better? Yes. And what I'm liking is that I've already seen several community managers explaining their thoughts and taking in feedback from the community. I have seen improvement in this puzzle over the last, and I believe we'll see even more feedback utilized in later puzzles of this kind. But let me be clear for all the haters out there, all the people quick to anger. This is a game. Bungie provided you a source of entertainment, a diversion, and rewarded you with lore, an emblem, some dialogue, quest steps, lore text, and an exotic weapon. Of course you expected more, but failing to meet your expectations is just as much the fault of your expectation settings as it is for Bungie's design. Give your feedback, yes, but do so constructively. Point out what disappoints or upsets you, but don't resort to name-calling, trolling, or any other foolish and destructive practices. And please, learn how to temper expectations. Did I want the corridors of time to unlock the Empyrean Foundation, which then unlocked trials and allowed me to roam the last city to meet and help people? Yeah. Did I expect it? No. Do I wish there was more? Kind of, always. But I'm happy with what we have. And the things I'm not happy about, I've provided my feedback in an appropriate manner in the appropriate places. I hope you can do the same. I do hope that Bungie's quest design and communication will improve, but I also hope that we as a community and as individuals can better ourselves in how we set our expectations and voice our concerns. In the end, I am personally happy with how this worked out. Our community came together in a huge way and literally stole a weapon through time. That's really cool. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Corridors of Time. I'm working on a video related to the lore of the Time Lost Vault and Bastion, but that's a story for another time. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check links below for more info and catch me live. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, let's keep it civil. I'll see you all next time. Bye now.